Somebody may say, I hate social media, without thinking about the advice that people can get from those who perhaps have a long-lasting relationship.
Or the inspiration. You could really be inspired.
Yeah.
You really can.
And that's what I'm saying. So as long as you don't look at it like, how come you don't do that? Right? Such and such always taking her on the trip. You ain't taking me up the street. Right? Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So as long as it's used the right way as inspiration and doesn't, spark envy in a relationship.
Exactly. But you can flip that, right? Because you can say, oh my gosh, I saw our friends and they were on vacation. When do you think we would be able to do something like that?
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
You can be inspired by it.
Yeah, but when do you, it's like, dude, it's like.
Wait, why are you?
Because I think a better self-talk would be like, I can't wait for us. Because it feels like a lot of pressure to say, so like, give me the date and time. Like, look, I got my phone out right now. So when do you think? You see that these other couples.
No, you're doing it different. I said it very sweetly. You're saying it like, so when we going to do it? I said, well, when do you think we should be able to do that?
That's not going to work.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience podcast, where the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what and even who we attract for ourselves. I'm Darnell Self, and this is my co-host, Tracy Self.
Did you miss me last week?
I did. Well, I was behind the camera.
I know. You were yelling out stuff.
I wasn't yelling out stuff. I was just voicing some ideas.
Well, you brought a lot of character to my episode, so thank you so much.
You did a great job.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, guys. If you haven't checked out the last episode, T Self talked about how to support an entrepreneur. And I think it really added a lot of value. In fact, I could tell by the comments you got the value it added to those who are in relationship with entrepreneurs and how to make sure that we get the best out of not just the business, but the relationship while you build the business. Yeah.
I learned the hard way, so I thought I would give everybody a fast
Is it that hard?
Well, no, it was good. It was a great learning experience.
Okay, good. And for those who are listening to this, you can't see her facial expression, so I'm glad. So you good this week? I know we've been traveling a lot.
Yes, I'm good. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm great. And we've been learning a lot about relationships. Mm-hmm. We've been doing a lot of double dating and hanging out with those who are married or in relationship with someone.
Yes.
So we've been getting a lot of questions. And one of the things we realized is that a lot of folks didn't know that we had discussions.
Yes,
Talks.
We always have.
They were like, hold on, like y'all have a disagreement?
We have a lot of conversations, but it's good. You have to.
Yeah, you should.
Communication is everything.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's funny. I was like, oh, y'all didn't see the episode where Tracy Self talked about she got kicked off the tour? Like, no, I didn't know. So people just don't know. And I think a lot of times people assume one thing because they see social media. Like, we're not going to, in the middle of a discussion, we're not going to like, hey, go live.
Right.
And let's show folks what we're talking about right now.
Right.
Right. So they see us, traveling, having fun and on the beach. And so people just, in their mind, that's what plays when they think of whoever they see, that couple.
Absolutely. Social media is huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, but they don't, because people don't normally show when they're having some serious discussions, or like me. I mean, I may show the fruit of our labor, but I'm not necessarily showing me reading a book, because that's pretty boring. How long do you keep the camera on me reading a book, or I'm in a class learning and growing, or I'm actually doing my business, making on conference calls. That'd be pretty boring to watch me do a Zoom.
Yeah.
So people are watching the results, the fruit of, but not the activity. So they assume, oh man, I can just make that kind of money without realizing the effort. Right. And the ups and downs, and the journey, and what it took to get that. So I thought we talked today because self-talk is so important in today's world, because there's social media today. There's, technology with our phone and apps and things.
Yeah.
So I know it impacts relationships and businesses differently.
It does. Well, I have a stat I pulled up for you.
Okay.
So it says the typical person spends 2.5 hours a day on social media. Okay. So if you break that down, that's 864 hours a year of scrolling through apps, equivalent to 36 days or a little over a month.
Dang. So we said 2.5 hours, it didn't feel that bad.
It doesn't seem bad, but when you really break it down to 36 days, can you imagine?
Yeah, 36 full days
of just being on social media or using apps or technology based.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Wow. I mean, it could be good or bad, right? And I think that's part of the self-talk discussion we'll have today, because if it's benefiting your relationship and like you have a long distance relationship.
If you're in a long distance relationship, I think it could be great. It could be great to also connect with other people, right? And build friendships or learn about relationships. It can be used for your good.
Right. But it could also be bad in the same exact instance, right? Because if it's a long distance relationship and you can't be there at the party, at the dinner, and it's like, well, who was that standing next to you? I saw in your story. Right?
Well, yes. I think, do you think that it could be more negative or more positive, or do you feel like it's an even? Like, what do you think?
It depends on the people, right? Because if people bring to the relationship some insecurities, some jealousy, then it's easy for social media to become a negative. It's like, because somebody can, I don't want to say stalk, but they could really pay a lot of attention to everything. Like, you like that person's thing. Why'd you like them? Like, why'd you like the post? It's like, because I actually like what they were saying.
Well, let's call it investigating. How about that? Like, I investigate your flights.
What do you mean you investigate
your
flights?
So whenever you fly, there's an app that you put the information in, and it tells me everything. Like how many hours until you board. So so when the kids are like flying, I'll send them a message. It's like, hey, you landed 1 minute ago. You're taxiing to gate B3. Baggage claim is So it's called investigation.
Okay. Investigation, is that what you're calling it? And I guess, right, exactly. I don't think that's bad, right? Unless it's like, I can't believe, because you never said, I can't believe you haven't called me yet to check in and tell me that you're safe.
Oh, no.
Right? So, but I think for your own peace of mind,
yes,
like, oh, he's safe.
Right. So that's what I mean. You can use it for good.
Right.
Or for evil. It just depends.
No, listen, let me just talk about the benefits that I've seen.
Okay.
In relationships, and then we'll talk about business too from social media.
Sure.
So the benefits that I've seen, and I think this is important to talk good to yourself about these things. Otherwise, it's easy to look at the same thing someone else can look at and see the negative in it, instead of saying, you know what, perhaps I can gain. Like, somebody may say, I hate social media, without thinking about the advice that people can get from those who perhaps have a long-lasting relationship. Or
the inspiration. You could really be inspired.
Yeah.
You really can.
And that's what I'm saying. So as long as you don't look at it like, how come you don't do that? Right? Such and such always taking her on the trip. You ain't taking me up the street. Right? Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So as long as it's used the right way as inspiration and doesn't, spark envy in a relationship.
Exactly. But you can flip that, right? Because you can say, oh my gosh, I saw our friends and they were on vacation. When do you think we would be able to do something like that?
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
You can be inspired by it.
Yeah, but when do it's like, dude, like...
Wait, why are you...
Because I think a better self-talk would be like, I can't wait for us. Because it feels like a lot of pressure to say, so like, give me the date and time. Like, look, I got my phone out right now. So when do you think? You see that these other couples. No,
you're doing it different. I said it very sweetly. You're saying it like, so when we going to do it? I said, well, when do you think we be able to do that?
That's not going to work.
When do you think you'll be able to work hard enough for us to do something like that?
That's not going to work.
And you smile.
No, I'm telling you, that's not going to work. I'm telling you, that is not That is not going to work.
Okay.
Look, you guys comment on this one because
I'm trying to be positive.
I know, but I'm just curious. We've been married for a long time, so there's some folks out there who are just getting themselves going in their relationship, maybe just getting themselves going with finances. Because I remember financially struggling, like yesterday. I remember how
too. Absolutely
badly it hurt to not be able to do things for the kids, you, my parents, and I'm just thinking of you as nice as you could say it. So when do you think we're gonna? I'm like, dude, like right now, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around not drowning.
Yeah, but it's interesting too because we didn't have those distractions when we were in that time of our life.
What do you mean, social media?
Social media.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see what was going on with everybody.
Right.
Back then, you went on vacation and you took a camera, and then you came back and you developed the film. And
really
when you saw someone,
Look, for all the millennials developing film, go Google that.
No, you used to go to CVS, and it got really advanced because you could do it in an hour. So you could put it in and walk around and come back and have pictures. And then people still didn't see the pictures until you saw them.
But look that's very true.
You know?
Yes.
Like, oh, wow, you guys went away 2 months ago?
Right. But a whole photo album and stuff. But look, check this out, though. You just said we didn't have the distraction. So your self-talk is that social media is a distraction. Because you just said, hey, we didn't have that distraction.
Because you were talking about it negatively.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a distraction.
Right. That's my point I'm trying to prove. It's like, it's up to you how you look at it. I don't know how people look at it because you asked me that question earlier in the episode. I think it's dependent upon the person and the couple. The person brings insecurity. The person brings,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? They may be walking in a scenario where they walk, let's say it's a guy. I'm walking in this scenario and the young lady I'm dating, she comes from a wealthy family. They already travel a lot. And I'm like, I didn't come from that. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like pressure. Not only did she come from that, but all the people she follows, because of her associations, they do the same thing. And so I think, in a relationship, before you actually decide that, hey, look, let's get together.
Right.
Are we evenly yoked? Like, is this person, do they even desire to travel? I just talked to somebody the other day and they were like, look, I don't even want to travel. They were like, I don't want to try. And I'm thinking, man, like never. But that's me. I like to travel, like different cultures and different food and different experiences. I love being around the water. It calms me. Yes. You know what I mean? When I wake up and I hear the waves crashing. And I mean, that's me. Not everybody wants that.
But so this is interesting too, because when you meet someone and you're developing a friendship and a relationship, you have the conversations about what your interests are, like you said. Yeah. So now social media may be something that you talk about.
Yeah.
What's your take on social media? Yeah. How do you post? What do you think is appropriate? What do you think is, if I like something, will that offend you? So you have to maybe now even start setting those boundaries.
Right. Well, no, I love that. I love that take. And I think even because we're talking about self-talk here, I think, hey, look, let's not pretend. Like if you're following someone on social media, like, oh man, if I ever get a chance to meet them, man, I would definitely like to, get to know them better.
Sure.
Well, you already see what they like. You already see that they like to work out. You already see that they like to travel. And so to pretend as though, hey, it's not all about that. You already know that.
Why'd you change your voice like that?
Because I felt like,
What is that? You don't even talk like that.
I felt like it's a job dude. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
I just felt like it's somebody who's just pretending. And all I'm saying is, look, there's nothing wrong with aspirational, influential Instagram profiles or Facebook profiles, whatever people are on, TikTok, with people who inspire you. Like, man, you see their workout? Like, I follow a lot of people work out. I'm like, oh, that's a good workout. That's a good show to work out. And I'm excited about seeing that, right? Yes. I'm like, I even save a lot of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But some folks are like, man, I'm not trying to see all them folks all cut up. Well, look, my voice again.
And the scroll is very fast.
Right. It's really fast, right? But what I'm saying is one person's inspired by the same thing that somebody else is like comparing themselves to.
Sure. And
they don't even know the whole story. Like, again, people don't know the struggles because we don't necessarily post all of our struggles, even though if I'm talking, I'll talk about, where we've come from and the challenges we had to overcome, because I don't want folks to think they can just do anything and have success right away. I mean, look, it took us years like almost 5 years before we start seeing fruit from all the seed that we have sown. Mm-hmm. You tell the average person you got 5 years, they're thinking 5 years plus my age right now, and they're like, but 5 years is coming.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. You're spot on. What I was saying was how you function on social media as far as what I agree with and what you don't agree with. So if we're in a relationship and I say, hey, can you not like certain things because it makes me feel uncomfortable? So you have those conversations. That's where I'm saying it could get negative because you go down a rabbit hole. So you're, following like your husband, and then you go and see who he's following, and then you go to their page, and then you say, oh, he liked this. Oh, he commented on that. And so then you keep going down a rabbit hole. Oh, he liked this. How many of these pictures are here? Right. So not that I've ever done that, but I'm just saying people. It can cause you to go down a rabbit hole is what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's when it could get negative. Yeah. But if you keep it where you're talking about, it's absolutely it could be positive.
I think that conversation is great, and that self-talk is really good. And because in most of our self-talks, we say, look, we say more to ourselves, and studies show this, right? Mm-hmm. Data shows that we say more to ourselves than we say to anybody else. So if I'm already thinking something, then I come across accusatory because this is my own self-talk. Instead of talking about, having this communication where we both can agree on something. So you're not coming, and you've done a great job at this in terms of your communication. Because I used to say, well, babe, it sounds like you're accusing me of something. You're like, no, I'm not. I'm asking a question.
But it's the tone.
Yep.
Right.
Timing.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, and again, somebody's not going to see certain things that's inappropriate. Somebody else is.
Right. But you have to have the conversation.
You have to have a conversation. Like if you comment on somebody, you like, man, that thing thanging. You know what I mean? That's,
again, with what is happening?
With the voice, the way I like that. Yeah, that thing. Because I feel like that's what you would say.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So, but look, think about this. There are people who post marriage retreats.
Yes.
And couples retreats.
Yes.
And it's good to be around other couples to, to grow together.
Right.
There are support groups.
Absolutely.
For relationships who deal with the same things or overcoming the same things and challenges.
I mean, it could be great. Parenting. There's so many positives that you can get out of it. You really could.
Yeah. But then you have those who are not experts in those areas, but pretend to be.
Oh, well.
And that's kind of tough too, right? So give a relationship expert, and then you do your research, you probably shouldn't be giving.
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah. So, but I do think there's a lot of benefit from it.
And it could be fun.
Yeah.
And it could also help you to just kind of unwind sometimes.
Yep.
And just kind of go through and take a moment, right?
Yep. And you could affirm people like, oh my gosh, he posted me. So there's some affirmation there.
I love that. I love commenting when I see stuff that I think is amazing and people that look beautiful. I love telling them.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
you do
good
a good
too.
job with that. Yeah. So let's pivot real quickly and talk a little bit about business.
Okay.
On social media. What's your take on business and social media?
Again, it depends on how you do it. It depends on how you position it. Because like you said, business is tricky because it could be deceptive. You don't really
feel like you're
know.
doing business, but you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And numbers don't lie, but you're not putting your numbers
right
out there for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's it's a cost advantage of doing it on social media rather than some other forms of advertising.
Well, sure. You've reached so many more people.
Yeah. For a lesser amount. Yeah. And then you can target your audience. You get market insights that are valuable. So if I look at my business account, it will say the demographics that's checked it out, how much of it they checked out. So I can look at my timing of my reels.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right. So it really gives you some insights and data. You can really learn how to run a business more successfully on social media.
Right. And also someone can see it and repost it. So even though your audience may be limited, someone else that sees it, it's going to their audience as well.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So you have access, and some people do a really good job of this. So they access other people's audiences by tagging them or collaborating with them.
Oh, yeah.
And so they access the audience of someone else that they would have never had.
Yes.
Plus customer engagement. It's a great opportunity on social media. You love that. So you'll tag like a coffee shop and you're like, oh my gosh, guess who retagged
That happened today.
Yeah.
They reposted me today. So I posted something.
And how'd that make you feel?
I was so excited.
I can tell by your smile. Right. So so you make your customers feel like they're part of a community now. Like, oh my gosh. And so you want to even continue to support that business.
Absolutely.
Right. So so I think that that's a huge opportunity with social media to brand yourself, right? Brand awareness. You can post often and people keep saying, man, I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
So many, in my opinion, so many opportunities to win big in business that we didn't have initially when we started our business without social media.
Absolutely.
Because literally, if I wanted to build my business in Texas, I would have to either advertise on a billboard or do some old school, stop laughing, old school form of advertising in Texas. Or now I can literally post something and I can look and see where people, because it'll even tell you countries, it'll tell you what area. So it's really a great opportunity to do target audience marketing too.
Yes, absolutely. That's good.
So
That's good.
yeah, but I think that the part that can be a little deceptive is people are busy, but they're not building their business. They're busy on social media, right? So they're liking stuff, but they're not taking that to engagement, to the DMs, commenting and asking questions, making the offers. So there are things that have to happen.
You have to have engagement with it.
Yeah. So the things that have to happen after that. So I think it could be huge, but again, it can be, you can trick yourself in your own self-talk. Like, man, yeah, I've been connecting with a lot of people, but you really haven't been connecting. You've just been seeing other people's stuff.
Right.
And nothing wrong with, like, we should like other people's stuff, right? We should comment on other people's stuff. But again, if we're not making an offer, if we don't have a call to action, if we're not asking our customers to do anything, then, more than likely we're not doing a lot of business. There's no transactions happening with it.
Right. And sometimes it may take a while. Sometimes you have to kind of get a feel for it and figure out what works for you.
Yep. I'm certainly not an expert at it.
I'm not either.
Right? I'm just practicing my self-talk right now.
I just like when I get things that I like and enjoy, I like sharing it.
Right.
That's it's fun for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not really in it for business. So again, everybody has what they enjoy about social media.
Yeah. I think the attraction marketing pieces work well for us in our business, just because people are looking at the lifestyle, not the trappings of wealth, but the time that we get an opportunity to spend with family and traveling with friends. Like your 50th birthday party, having all those folks go to the Dominican, and my 50th birthday party, having all those folks go to Turks and Caicos. It was like, so what are y'all doing? How can that many people take off at the same time during a week? You know what I mean? So it causes a lot of questions.
Sure.
And so it allows me to say, hey, look, I'd love to see some information on what we do. It may be of interest to you, and we can connect and create some win-win scenarios.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, like I did that. Yeah. So yes for social media for relationships, more so than no?
I say yes. I think as long as it's done in the right way.
Okay.
And also, if anything arises, you just have to communicate in a positive way and be respectful. That's the most important thing for me. Just be respectful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think sometimes people feel like they have to like certain things. It's like,
why can't you just look at it and be like, dang, and then just keep going and just keep going. You don't have to like it because it just causes too much. It's just not good. It's not.
All right, but you would say yes to social media. I think it can be a great thing.
I do.
And then sometimes people have to take a break from it. Sometimes the communication is, hey, we need to take a break from social media. Right. So sometimes that could be the case.
Again, you're asking someone who's not a big social media person. I just kind of
true.
You're asking me. I don't.
That's.
I just get on it for fun and to send funny videos to people.
Right. Yep. Okay. What about business? You say yes, business. You feel like it's been a great marketing arm for us.
For us, yes, I do. Yeah. I really do. I think it could be great.
So I think for most businesses,
good tool. It's a good tool.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys. Just remember, because social media is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So you could say I hate it. Listen. If you own a business, if you want to get your brand out there, if you're in a relationship and you want to use social media to post certain things, to show your affection through visual images, to have memories come up, to remind you of, oh my gosh, and we did this, it was so good, right? So you have the opportunity to relive some of those feelings sometimes. So if you feel like it's a benefit, then you should tell yourself that it is. So that way, when something comes up and it's not desirable, you won't throw it all away.
That's good. That's
right?
Because
it was like, man, I don't like it. Well, you just said 8 times that these are all good things. Don't let the one ruin all the other things, right? Just have a conversation about the one and why you thought it wasn't appropriate, or why you thought, it wasn't a match for what you guys had already communicated about, and not just say, I hate it.
Sure.
Right? Because then you may hurt your own business. You may not be able to have the good parts of social media with your relationship. So thought we'd just share a little bit about that, because you said earlier, we should talk a little bit about social media and how it's impacted us, even though you're not on it much, so we couldn't talk much about her. But she's a bougie bean. So she would go in every coffee shop. We will find a coffee shop no matter where we are.
Absolutely.
So if you got some suggestions for coffee shops in your local area, please hit her up
let me know.
The Real Bougie Beans.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, remember, it's the self-talk. So it's also about the things you say to yourself. Because remember, the things you say to yourself about yourself and your social media as well will eventually determine what you think about yourself and social media as well.
And if you like my husband's posts, like mine too.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.